Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you nothing. Tonight, we have nothing for you. we got nothing.
I didn't expect that one.
Usually, we bring cutting edge conversation while exploring the quantum possibilities. We might be able to do that a little bit, but um, we have a no-show guest, so who knows what we're going to bring you tonight.
Yeah,
I did want to say thank you. I'm always so grateful that you guys are here, and um, we're really having a lot of fun in the mastermind connection group. Um, we have fun. It's a community, and if you feel like, man, I don't have a tribe, I don't have a community, you can come and see if this community feels okay to you. It might feel really good to you. And then, then you have a group of people that you can meet with and talk about really, captivating things with. And um, yeah. So if you would like to check out the Mastermind Connection, it happens Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. You can send an email to the Mastermind Connection, all one word, at gmail.com. The link for the Zoom meeting will be sent to you, and just show up Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we have a brief chat to decide what we want to focus on manifesting, and then we go into progressive relaxation, just yummy relaxation. And then we go into a very guided imagery meditation, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun because a lot of things that we've wanted to manifest have happened. So uh, it's really fun. It's really
yeah,
fun to come together in that unified way. Um, you
yeah,
know,
and we get
go ahead. I had more to
yeah.
say, but
Okay, yeah. We got to remember what the mastermind is. It is when two or more minds are united in harmony, they create a third mind that has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other. So if we are a group of people, we magnify the brain and the mind power of those by the number that we are. And this turns into a very, very powerful, energetic field of creation. And we are doing it in the language, in the spiritual language of emotion, feeling, vivid, colorful images, intention, gratitude for already having it, and love, which is the spiritual language. And this comes from the unified field or the, okay, God, if
easy
you
for
like.
you to say. What? What?
Yeah, that's that's God.
God.
Um, well, there's more within that for the angelic beings and stuff like that, but it comes from then we bring it into the physical, and it seems like we create out of seemingly nothing sometimes, and it happens quite a bit. Now, yes, we did have a guest tonight, and she's over in Ireland, and I don't know, she just didn't make it. Maybe she fell asleep. It is midnight over there, so that could have happened. Of course, I have bombed shows in the past too, so things do happen. But I know she wanted to talk about the Pleiadians because she is in contact with one that speaks through her, actually, several. And she wanted to talk about ascension because they have explained to her how this would work for us. And it could have been really interesting. So I'll talk to her and see if I can get her to come back later. But in the meantime, what do you think, Nora? We could visit those subjects a little bit because I know something about you. And Nori, on the mastermind, I think it was twice that you
It
also
was it was
channeled
yeah, it was more than that.
more than, yeah, more than once. And that was a Pleiadian.
Right.
Because according to what some people I think they know, they say there's both physical beings in the Pleiades as well as higher vibratory beings also living there that come here and watches over us and see what we're doing and what we're trying to screw up. But
Yeah, yeah. So there was some time in my life I can kind of remember back to when I invited to be open to channel.
mhm,
It was a long time ago. So when it happened that day, I didn't know it was coming. Um, it was a surprise. It was a surprise. And we were doing the meditation. And for some reason, I said to them, and if you have any energy, additional energy in your neck, just open the door at the back of your neck. And the next thing I know, I went out. I'm a
yeah,
trance medium, and I go out, and Alchemedes from Pleiades comes in, and what I had listened to, because I had to go back and listen to it, or read some people's notes. He's just love. He's just about love and humanity and everything that uplifts us so that we can be in alignment, in our highest alignment, because that's where everything happens. And he supported that with everything that he said, and just I don't know, he just was the sweetest. Sweetest is like the best word, just the sweetest being.
yeah. I remember when you
Yeah.
did that the very first time. It just, I was sitting there looking at you, just, what's going on, Nori? What are you doing? Because there were no notice. It was totally unexpected for everybody, including you, and your voice changed.
Mhm.
It wasn't you anymore. There was the different tone of the voice. In fact, the structures of the sentences changed. It was
Mm,
became kind of like old English. Well,
mm.
not quite that, but it was some of it was backwards.
Interesting.
So it didn't seem like you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It was a surprise. And that happened more than four times, Augie.
yeah,
We
okay.
we have recordings of it somewhere. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, when we
problem. Somewhere.
speak about ascension, there is actually an awful lot of evidence that it does happen. It happens in different ways. Do you remember probably 4, 5 years ago now, we interviewed a Catholic priest, Father Chiso. He was commissioned by the Catholic Church to go to India, Tibet, and a few other places over there, try to find out and solidify the rumor about the fact that they had heard there were people that ascended over there. So he went there. It took him almost a year traveling around trying to find this, and he did come on to a monastery where they say, "Yeah, sure, we do. Yeah, many of us do." And then they allowed him to see. one time a an ascension, and he has pictures on his website of one of the ways that ascension happen, and that is when you take the body with you. The physical body also goes away, but it goes away over time. So he has a picture on his website about there is a small container with just a few tiny skinny bones and nails and hair that is left behind. All the rest of it disappears. And then he talked to them and said that when they have end of life parties, whoever decides that I'm out of here, they lay down, they decide that they are going to physically drop the body right there, and within 5 minutes they quit breathing and they're physically dead. So that's their way of spiritually ascending. But whether
That's a
they
life
leave the body behind, I don't know.
that's a lifetime, or the balance of a lifetime, teaching yourself how to control your heart rate.
Yeah, yeah, they
They've
do.
taken themselves down to like 4 beats an hour many, many times. It's
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
there is writings coming out. There's writings coming out of India also saying that the some of these monks, they're able to slow down the breathing and slow down the heart rate until the heart does not even beat anymore.
Right,
So they, for all practical purposes, physically they are dead, but they
right.
also wake them up.
What? We wake them up?
Yeah, they wake back up again when they later on
Is this,
need to, I suppose.
is this for the meditation practice that they do and lower their heart?
Probably in form of a meditation somehow. I don't know. But there's some writing on the Institute of Noetic Sciences, which has they got hundreds of testimonies of from people that has knowledge or know about the documented cases of transforming into light. They are there, and then they turn into a ball of light, and when the light subsides, there is nothing there.
Like, here, hold my beer.
Yeah, I need a whole jug. Oh God. Uh,
Interesting.
but some of you may want to go on to the Institute of Noetic Sciences and poke around until you find things like this. It's really interesting reading it.
It is interesting.
Yeah, and also there was a spiritual teacher, J.C. Knight. She was channeling Ramtha back in the 80s and the 90s and maybe later. And she talked about Ramtha teaching them how to do this.
Hmm. I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a good friend that used to go to her meetings up on the in the gosh, I forget where she was up in Idaho or somewhere, Montana. That's it. Uh, and he said Ramtha was teaching them the ascension process. Now, he didn't say if anybody was able to do it, but he said he was teaching them how.
Hmm. Well, that's
It is,
nice.
yeah,
That's nice. Everybody
I,
should know.
yeah, that's,
I mean,
uh,
everybody who thinks who believes in this, but yeah.
Yeah. Of course, there is a common way that everybody sooner or later will ascend, and that is what we call death. You're going to go to a higher vibration, yeah, but you're going to leave the used car or the body behind. So it gets really interesting when you step out of the into the weeds like this.
Into the weeds of ascension or into the weeds of what we call life in this moment.
Life, yeah,
Yeah, it's
life, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. And everybody has a different perspective.
Yeah.
Some people
I,
don't even think of this in terms of being an ascension time.
mhm. I remember on the last mastermind meeting, Bill was talking about ascension because there are spiritual entities that has channeled how it would work for us this time around, because there will be a well, people who think they know, they're saying that there will be a mass ascension. And even in religious writings in the Bible, they talk about it. No, they don't use the term, but they call it rapture.
Going up in the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the way they explain it is that you can be standing there talking to somebody and bingo, they're gone.
Yeah, could happen. This every
And,
day,
and
but
yeah, and in fact,
I,
back in the 1980s, I when I was in back in Minneapolis, I know I talked to several of the pilots at United Airlines. The CEO of United Airlines, he had demanded to know the spiritual or religious beliefs of the pilots. And he made sure that were marked in their papers of such that there were two born again Christians or Christians, they would not be pilot and co pilot on that airplane. They would be one may be Christian and the other one being an atheist or some other religion. Because he, this sounds ridiculous, but it was true. I talked to the pilots and they told me that they were dumbfounded because they said they needed to know if I was a Christian. So they did not want two Christian pilots in the cockpit in case there was a rapture, because then they'll both be gone and there was nobody to fly the airplane.
that's interesting. I don't think you can even ask people what their religion is anymore.
I
That
don't
was
think,
back in
yeah,
the day.
you know, but there is in the Bible they talk about it as the real thing. So evidently 1699, 98 years ago, when they wrote the first draft to the Bible, there were knowledge of this having happened. Otherwise, I don't think they would have put it in there. I love to hear from the listeners on this subject because it's kind of interesting. And now, what Bill talked about, he is scouring the internet for information about channelings and real other things. And he said what he's hearing from people that is channeling about how this rapture will happen is that this time we're not going to need to drop the body or physically die, because Earth and everything on it is going to a higher vibration, and we are on for the ride. So, what they're also saying is that how do we know then? If it looks the same, well, we're going to start seeing in what happens. Whatever we think about materializes. But the channelists are saying is that we create by thought and mental images in our reality. Well, I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my vanilla milkshake.
Yeah,
Like, where I'm ready. Mustn't be
I'm
thinking.
trying. uh,
Mustn't have the connection yet.
yeah.
I could go for a vanilla milkshake.
Now, we wonder why this happened. I think there is an option for people to learn how to do this and practice over a lifetime to the point where you are at the level of vibration where you could actually do it. But I think that's not the case right now. I think Earth is moving, the everything on it is moving, and we are on for the ride. But I also hear that not everybody will be leaving. You have to have a certain higher level of consciousness in order to go along on that journey. If you are a real scuzzbucket, like they used to say, then you're going to be left behind on still another Earth, but it's going to be the one that has all the garbage and the negativity in it. So I think maybe that's why we should try to be a little better people than many of us are.
Um, I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, I know we've
um,
had lengthy discussions on this on the mastermind, and it seems to be
it,
consent. Yeah,
that vibration is relative. The vibration is relative. There isn't a magical number when you get to it. Your vibration is high enough because our vibration shifts moment to moment.
you know,
So somebody who has had a denser vibration that just squeaks up the scale, the frequency scale, just a nanometer, that counts as having a higher vibration, even though comparatively to like the Dalai Lama, but it's not that it isn't a way and measure, you know, of the level of consciousness that's going to get you on the train, and
yeah,
what do you think, Augie? Do you think there's like hand-picked people, or what do you,
yeah. I'm not so sure that the Dalai Lama all that far up the ladder is
I don't think
saying
there
the
is a ladder.
kind of like saying the Pope is a good guy. I I don't know. Just because you have those titles, it make not necessarily you being of a higher consciousness, because a lot of things are going on at that level that maybe they have to be part of, and a lot of distractions and things that they have to deal with that is not all that positive, and I don't know. I've heard some things that I'm not going to mention on this show because people need to do their own research. But there's a lot of people out there that has reached a level of city consciousness. City consciousness, and that is when you are all mind. There's quite a few. And what they do, they create at the power of thought. And there's quite, well, Sadhguru talked about it. And he said there are people that he has met that showed him that they could be in two places at one time, or standing in front of him and suddenly disappearing, going somewhere else.
That'd be fun to do in the grocery store.
Yeah, you clean the place out real fast. uh, yeah,
Mm.
I'm good at imaging stuff, and that was a fun one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
very cool. It's just, well, I mean, the the opportunities, the possibilities are unlimited
yeah,
when we become unlimited. So they're manifesting at the rate of thought. So they're pure thought. So if we're not pure thought, what are we? We're still
yeah,
thought, but it could be anxious thought. It could be fear thought. It could be depression thought. And
yeah,
these are more real cases, for what's should be talked about. And when you're in that vibration, if you can just think of one little thing that feels better than the depression, right? So you're laying in bed, you haven't taken a shower in 2 days, or you've got too many food containers in the bed with you. What And you know that you need to get out, to get the energy up out of it. Your body will follow.
mhm,
So if you're thinking about how miserable you are, or if the first thing that you think about in the morning is that one thing that scares the bejesus out of you, you just have to shift that for a minute and stay right there. But then think about something like, I really love my bed. I love my bed because God knows you've been in it, right? That's going to take you up the vibrational scale. And then it might be, wow, look, it's a sunny day. Go up a little bit higher. Oh, wow, look at the beautiful plants out there. You know what? I really would like a salad. And just taking little bitty thoughts to take you out of whatever heaviness that you're in is so helpful to helping to break the chain of that thought that makes us not be pure mind all the
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Mhm.
So don't be scared. Be scared.
No, there's really nothing to be scared about, but there is a lot of scary things. But if you understand them, that not all of that is real. Think about all the stuff that has we've been thinking happening to us that didn't happen.
Seriously.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
yeah. Well, and
Let's
then
start.
yeah, and then there are people, not too many listening to us probably, but there are people out there saying that when you die, that's it. You're done, gone. There's nothing afterwards. Those are the people that haven't done much research. They've mostly been listening to their brother in law that don't know anything, because the evidence is overwhelming to the contrary. Ask any astro traveler, or go onto YouTube and put in the search bar a Tesla Spirit Radio. and go and see some of those. In 1901, I think it was, Nikola Tesla patented a radio that was not plugged in the wall. It was just a little bit of circuitry in a glass jar. And through that thing, he, in an interview, he said, I'll paraphrase again, I was in my laboratory at night and I had I had the radio out and I was listening to people talking back and forth in a language I did not understand. And it terrified me because in 1901 there were no radio stations. The first radio station was registered in the United States in 1921. And that was in Pittsburgh, I think. And what he heard was something talking through a speaker from a radio that wasn't plugged in the wall. That was spirit radio. And if you listen to YouTube, you can hear the people that have built it. Now they have improved it some because now they're running it through a computer to filter out the noise and stuff, and they do all kinds of neat things. But that little box or the glass jar with that circuitry in it and the two antennas really close together, you can still hear the spirits talking to you, and there's not plugged into anything. So there is something.
Have to wring your socks out.
Yeah. Yeah, go to YouTube and check out the Tesla Spirit Radio. You will find that very interesting. Hmm. I have listened to some of those, and you can clearly hear the voice of someone. Sometimes the voice is distorted. It kind of get pitchy high, but you can hear the words, or it can be really low, and you can hear that it's not normal talk, but it's filtered or twisted somehow coming through the antenna. But it is voice.
It's very weird.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I get, yeah. Just, just me personally, I don't, I don't talk to, spirits like that. Um, so I guess I find it maybe more weird than anybody else, but um, looking at the science of it, love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. There's so much to unpack there to
Yeah.
figure out what we are, to have shown up through some homemade mechanical thing in a jar where disembodied people can speak. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. What are we though?
And then we have the testimonies from people that is coming back and still remember what they were or who they were before they were born.
Yes.
Or
In between in between
hypnosis
lives.
regression.
Hmm.
You take somebody back under hypnosis before they were born and they start explaining that they were in a different body.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that you do, Nori. I haven't heard anybody else do it, but maybe there is. But you, you're a hypnotherapist, so you take people forward in time to meet themselves.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hopefully, we are a little smarter in the future, you think?
Well, I mean, that's one of the benefits,
Yeah,
of it. Um, when you meet your future self and you get the image of him or her in your mind and you see them and
yeah,
you like them and they can give you the answer that you're seeking,
mhm,
share with you some ideas that can help you for whatever it is that you came into um, hypnosis looking for, right?
yeah,
What you were looking for to satisfy you when you came back to your life. Uh, Something you've been thinking, something you've been wondering, something just nagging at you like, I need to,
yeah,
I need to go deep inside my mind and get out of the chattery mind. We're just talking, right? Or you got to go to the grocery store. What are you having for dinner? And I didn't go to the gym. And right, I mean, it's just constant. But you
yeah,
shut that down when you go into hypnosis. And hypnosis is nothing but a state of relaxation, just deep relaxation. Varying levels, throughout an hour and a half session, you go through varying levels, but you're always in control. You can get up at any moment, but it's it's always so remarkable and
mm,
it appears to be so satisfying for the people. I mean, just to be that relaxed for an hour and a half is half of the joy, and then getting the answers you were looking for. And sometimes I have to say that your subconscious mind can give you the answers in a way that you're not expecting.
mhm,
So, if you're asking for something very specific, oftentimes they use symbolism and color and things that are pertinent to you. Like if you're an animal person, they use symbols so that you go in and get that little glimmer of a diamond that you're looking for, right? That thought, that little piece of the puzzle. So sometimes they give you the information for you to go get it, which is lovely. It's all
mm,
it's all lovely. It's
yeah.
beautiful. And
Think
a
of
lot
it.
of people are going back into the time between lives. Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Tell that to an atheist.
Mm,
It'll
mhm.
make their brain scratch, itch. But think about the concept. Let's say that you're working on something right now to try to accomplish something, and then you go put under hypnosis and you taken forward in time a year from now, and you ask yourself, what did I do to make what I'm doing here a year in the past work? You could get ideas from yourself that you haven't thought of yet here, but you're a year from now, you know the answer, so you can get the idea of what to do to make it work.
Yeah,
Or
love that.
your future self can say, forget it, it failed. So you come back and you do something different. You don't know what's going to happen.
Mm, yeah. And there's usually a higher meaning, you know, there's usually a higher spiritual meaning to the question that you're going in with. And
Yeah,
sometimes the the subconscious mind, even though you're going in to talk about your marriage, this happened, she went in wanting to know something about her marriage, and she ended up going off planet to a planetary celebration where she got an activation and
well,
came back from that, and I was like, we didn't get to your husband. She's like, it just doesn't even matter anymore.
Wow.
Can you imagine going and being on another planet and getting an activation and just really cool.
Yeah. Boy,
Yep.
it's a strange universe.
Denise, you should call me. I'll hypnotize you. It's fun. It's amazing. The
Yeah.
subconscious mind is so magical. It's so magical.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
actually, it was through hypnosis that I was first given a hint about Alchemedes, who I
Mhm.
channeled because I was studying hypnotherapy and I had to go with a hypno buddy. So he put me under and I came out with the saying, I am the mother of the children that I don't have. And I was like, this was, years ago. And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's my patients. Maybe I treat my patients like the children I don't have. But then when one day when Alchemedes came through during the mastermind connection, he said the names of my three, it was whatever, my three off-planet children. Said the names of them.
Yeah.
I cried for
Uh,
3 days. It was so,
mhm.
I don't even know the feeling to describe the way that that felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah. That
amazing. But
that
that,
must have been heavy.
yeah, and then I was like, oh my God, that's what that saying was about. It was years ago. It was giving me a little preview. Yeah, it was really interesting. Amazing. And then, you know, I find out that that ships really do go under the water. I thought that was, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That just
Yeah.
verified, more.
Mhm.
I tried to disqualify the whole thing, but I couldn't because it happened. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
So we can wrap it up if there's no other questions. We don't have to torture people with our chatter. We're
Oh,
42 minutes in.
yeah, that's all right, but there is more that also I would consider being evidence of some life afterwards. Think about all the, I'm going to use the word, millions of near death experiences. There is no chance of all of those millions in different parts of the world have come up with this common lie about something. Oh, I'm going to say something that'll, whatever. No, those near death experiences happen. And they come back with stories. Find themselves going through a tunnel, coming to the other end, and there's their dead father or mother at the other end says, no, 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 sorry, you can't come yet. You have more work to do. You got to go back. Or maybe they make it through and they meet some of the people on the other side. They have discussions and they get to see what will happen if they decided to stay, what will happen to the people you left, or if you go back, what can you do? All of these things, there are so many of them. I am calling that evidence. It has to be Nori.
Mm. Well, that's a pretty, it's a pretty solid statement coming from you.
Yeah, but there's too much of them. There are too many coincidences that when you get too many coincidences on one issue, it becomes evidence of its being real.
Yeah.
And I am absolutely convinced of that. Well, as an astro traveler, I've been outside of the body. You see stuff out there. You see other people. You see other entities and things. I'm calling it things because it never had a body before. But there is, I have no idea how many levels of existences or dimensions there may be out there, or different timelines that we are in. We could only imagine, according to quantum physics, there may be a chance that there is an unlimited number of realities. All depends on how much you can multiply what you have. One scientist, he said there was like 10 to the 34th power of universes.
Wow.
That's a number 10 with 34 zeros behind it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know if there's a name for that number.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Keep it as 34 to the 10th power. Uh-huh.
there is evidence. And when we have that evidence, and the rumor on the street is that we're going to drop the body one day. It's a persistent rumor. So, should we not then kind of start maybe imagining or planning ahead a little bit for that new adventure? We don't have to
How do you
want
make
it.
that plan? How do you make that plan?
Uh,
Hello, I'd like
well,
reservations in the next life.
say again?
Hello, I'd like reservations in the next life.
Yeah, because whatever we think about and what we do and what we imagine here goes with us once we drop the body. So I would say for the atheists that think there's nothing, boy, are they going to be surprised. But for the ones that go within, do a little research in their subconscious mind, either by meditation or asking questions and seeking out knowledge, or doing like you do for people, helping them with hypnosis. You can get an idea, you can establish a future entity in the mind to expect it to happen. We just might be able to carry some of that over. I don't know if that would work all the time, but instead of doing nothing, I'd rather do something.
Yeah. Yeah, you should probably, yeah, do something.
Mhm. There's possibilities way beyond physical knowledge that becomes available to us once we step out of 4D.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to, I don't know if we could talk about that or not, but reincarnation was an established fact before the year 325 when the first draft of the Bible was issued. So it is, I remember when I was before I was born, I remember standing around kind of like a pool, and there was a fluid surface, and in there was images, and I was presented, I believe, with three different life situations, and obviously I chose this one. I have a memory of that, and I don't know. I'm kind of hoping I'm done with this one. What do you think? No, do you want to come back?
Yeah.
There's
Can't
something to.
answer that right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess things are different outside of here because here things, physical things are important. But when we're out there, we look back at this, physical things are not important. It's just only the experience of what we learned from it that is important. So I don't know. I guess we will maybe think different when we are out there.
Interesting.
Yeah,
We are we are eternal.
yeah,
Our essence is eternal.
yeah. And how long? How long does that last?
How long does it last? Forever.
Yeah, how long is that? It's and the same goes that way too. How long have we been around?
Mm.
If we are internal, that means there were no beginning and there's no end. Now, I hope the brain of the listeners are itching again.
Yeah, that was people may have tuned out like in their mind.
Yeah,
That was pretty that was yeah. You might want to come back and re-listen to this. This is more than it seemed. It's
yeah,
really good. It's really good. Yeah.
yeah. This show kind of turned out more like a unexpected event because the guest didn't show up and it's just Lori and me here.
Pixie.
Yeah, there you go.
Pixie.
Yeah, that's
So
just, I don't know. It's, I hope the listeners got a little enjoyment out of it at least.
yeah.
They were expecting something big
The
this time,
intro.
and all they got was us.
That happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you think, Nori, that we could mention in the last 5 minutes?
Just to just be responsible for your energy.
Yeah,
Choose
that
your
is.
energy. See how aligned you can get. Like we opened up with talking about the city monks who can just go, or they can lay down and make their heart stop.
Mm,
And that's all energy. So we get to choose our energy.
yeah,
And some moments, we have to think about something else because somebody's annoying you or saying something really stupid. And it's like, I don't want to pay attention. So just take care of your energy. Take care of you. Take care of your energy first. And then share, go help. but you've got to bolster yourself and fill up your energy and put yourself in your bubble, right? I double bubble right now.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
and
go about being of service.
we're going into a brand new year now. There's going to be probably one of the most interesting years that you have ever lived. Some of
Yeah.
it may be scary and some of it very enjoyable. So just don't forget who you are. Spiritual being having a physical, watching a physical movie, or maybe, but you're the
Something.
star actor in the movie. Whatever happens in the next few weeks, remember it's gonna be okay in the end. There'll be maybe a hiccup or two, and then things are gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Augie's famous last words, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. It was really just like a hangout, right? Um, so thank you. We were
Yeah.
just
Was there any
yeah,
activity to speak of in the chat room?
there was some people in
Yeah.
definitely talking in the chat room. Yep.
Okay.
Hi guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, anyway, thanks, Augie. This was interesting. Thank you, Mac. Thank you for doing the work behind the scenes. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you if you're on the replay. And of course, we have to ask you if you would subscribe and like, because, for some reason, those algorithms are still important.
Yeah.
I don't know. Please just do it. Much love, everybody. We'll see you next week.